really great pictures of coho that are alive. A lot of them are dead, spawned out fish. So I just thought I'd throw our little, this is a sign that was done with some funding that's at 1 Mile Lake, around the new trails. And it just talks about the coho journey. Cohos are some of my favorite salmon because they are so weird. They love these really little small agricultural ditches. They love these seemingly valueless habitats, slow-moving water, even areas that are ephemeral, so areas that don't have much flow through the summer. And they live a year in fresh water, so they need that wetland habitat to really, as part of their life cycle. So, and we have coho all over this valley. And again, I am salmon-centric, and I promise I'm not going to talk too much about coho, but if you have questions about them.
The year they live, is that the first year that they live in the freshwater?
Yeah, so they spawn around October, November, and they, even some, we get a late run into January, and then those eggs will hatch by March, and they will live in that wetland until the next spring, so March or April. So they're there for a full year, and then they're out to the ocean for 3 to 4 years before they return. So influences. Okay, so obviously we are a huge influence on wetland habitat. This is the BC Rail crossing by Bob Benzel's there as part of the Arn Canal, formerly 2 Mile Creek. These are beaver deceiver culverts that are failing horribly at this point. They were installed incorrectly, and after 2 more incorrect CN rail installations, still are not functioning. So we can I just threw this picture in there because we're a huge influence with our infrastructure, these highways and railways and all sorts of things. We have all these great influences on wetland habitats. This is that valley ditch. It's really cool. This section comes from the Riverlands old connection between the Ryan and the Lillooet, where the Lillooet used to meet the Ryan, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about this just after this. But this is channelizing and redirecting water, and this is actually still quite important habitat, but as far as a wetland that you would expect to see, it's a little bit different. Pollution. This is downstream of the highway bridge coming into the Arn Canal. That's a culvert there. This is all, I'm not sure what, coming off the highway's yard. It's sand and silt trucks and possibly paint. But just pollution obviously is a big, especially with agricultural land. You do get an influx of different fertilizers and all those sorts of things, and because a wetland is generally still moving water, it flows in there and it will stay there. And here is this is a wetland where cows have been, so you can see not a lot of vegetation left around the edges. And this type of wetland, what we normally do here is we use some fencing, and then we make sure the cows have all these openings to the water, but the areas where we have the openings, we put a hard surface down, so just a volatile surface so that the cows don't sink and muck it up, and then it allows the rest of the pond to restore. Because wetlands, if nothing else, are really resilient. They can come back if we allow them to. So, and really, habitat destruction and alteration, that is the #1 cause of sort of species loss, not only in wetlands, but across all habitats. So it's just, that is the main one, and below pollution or invasive species or anything like that. And speaking of invasive species, wetlands, we do get a bit of problems with invasive species. Purple loosestrife here. There's certainly a lot of terrestrial ones, but we have seen purple loosestrife quite a bit in some of the ditches. And it's in Ontario that's just taken over wetlands. So it's definitely something to watch for. Okay, Pemberton. This is a picture, again, I took from a helicopter. I'm just going to pass these around. And if that's okay. These are just aerial photos. These are from 1957, sort of showing all the different cuts that were done, and still shows the Lillooet in its original form, and then the cuts that were made in the early 50s.